What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to put together a worthy alternative to the Devos Outdoor LightRanger. Let's get to it. Alright, so if you follow a few different YouTube channels and Instagram accounts like we all do, you've probably seen this LightRanger pop up a few times by now. And looking at it, it's a great idea. It gets the light up high, around 9 feet in the air, and that reduces glare at your eye level and gets the light really spread out nicely around your campsite. Now, if you're also like me, and when you immediately hop over to their website to buy this thing, and you see that price of $155, and you say to yourself, there's got to be a better way to do this. This is a LED light on a stick. You're in the right place. Follow along. Alright, and before we go any further, let's just get this out of the way. I am not, and I will not be knocking the Devos LightRanger itself in any way. It's a great product. They've put the R&D behind it, and I'm sure for production, it deserves its price. There are also little things that you get with the pre-made package with the LightRanger, like the little stakes that go at the bottom of the tripod, and the cleaner aesthetic of how the light attaches directly in the middle of the module onto the pole itself. So you're getting a complete product. It's worth this price. It's just that I come from a background of automotive repair, and with that is a certain level just inherent of wanting to DIY things. You can look at things and see the components and say, hey, I can do this myself and save a decent amount of money in the process. So that's where I'm coming from. We're not knocking the LightRanger itself at all in this video. Okay, so with that out of the way, fucking Hondas. Alright, so with that out of the way, like we said, this is an LED light on a stick, right? So what's the first thing we need? A stick. And where do we go for a stick? We go to Amazon. There is a huge variety of studio light tripods that you'll be able to find on there. And what we were looking for to get as close to the LightRanger specs as possible is something around 9 feet high. And I'm going to consult my notes here to get the specs right. We ended up with this piece is adjustable from 2.9 feet to 8.5 feet. The LightRanger is adjustable from 39 inches to 104 inches, or 3.24 feet to 8.66 feet. So very, very comparable. And the advantage of using one of these is you end up with a 1/4-20 screw at the top of your tripod, which is super common in most lighting applications. Where it isn't quite as common, as we'll find out, is the type of light that's most comparable to make a DIY version of this product. But we did find one. The overall specs on this unit, and I'll throw the product screen up on the screen here for you. Does have a 1/4-20 screw fitting on the side of the unit, and the overall battery specs and everything are very similar. Again, while we're looking at the product page, I'll take a look at my notes here for you. This is the 30 watt Pro, and it comes in a rated 4,000 lumens, a 12,000 milliamp hour rechargeable battery with an IPX4 waterproof rating. And our LightRanger specs out at 1,200 lumens, so quite a bit less there in theory. A 10,400 milliamp hour battery, and it also has an IPX4 waterproof rating. The LightRanger, the light unit itself, like I mentioned before, it mounts up in the middle, and the light still shines down around it on the sides. It can be removed from its base and hung with a carabiner. And our light here also has that capability, it comes with a decent strap and a little mini carabiner to where you can take it off and hang it around camp as well. So you retain that capability in our DIY version. And some more specs for you here as I look at my notes. LightRanger is rated for 4 hours on high, 16 hours on low, and it recharges in 8 hours via a micro USB port. And our Amazon version claims 32 hours on high, 100 hours on low. They do not give a recharge time to recharge the unit itself, but it does have the advantage of a USB-C port for charging, which is really nice in this day and age. I've been trying to consolidate all the things that I can to all use USB-C. For simplicity's sake, you never find yourself without a cable that you can actually use when they all use the same type, so much appreciated. So as far as the spread of light you get with this, on the listing, it says it has a 50 square meter spread. Don't know at what height, what level, how they measured that. Devos on the LightRanger, when it's at its 9-foot maximum height, says it has a 50 square foot lighted area. So really a big difference there, and it's hard to quantify just how they measured this thing here to get their spread. Okay, so now that we have some specs on the height of our tripod and the light itself, we need one more piece here to make this functional. Because like I said, our 1/4-20 thread is on the side of our unit, and our tripod, of course, the thread is pointing straight up. Screw that on doesn't really work, so we need one of these elbows. Again, these are super common and super inexpensive in the studio lighting world, which is kind of what we're working out of here. So this guy just screws into the side of the light there. Loosen her up when this is mounted on the top of our tripod, and that's how we get it. That's how we get our spread of light. So pretty clean implementation in the end. It's not as nice as just seeing the pull of the LightRanger as it comes straight up. You have the lights that go around the side of it. Oh, and one thing I did forget, a cool thing about the LightRanger is that you can do a combination of the different panels from the different sides. You can have, I think it's any combination of 1, 2, or 4, something along those lines. I'll see if I can't throw up a product shot with that information too. So that's a neat feature that we do lose out on here, but in the end, I think it's worth it. Okay, so of course we've mentioned the price of the LightRanger. We've talked about the components we're using here today. What's the pricing of what we actually used? So the light itself checks in, you're going to see this listing typically at about $30. I've often seen it with a little bit of a, click it coupon. You can apply for a few percentage points off, so that could be coming in a little bit less than what I paid, which is right around 30. Our adjustable elbow was 10, and the tripod itself was 31 at the time that I bought it. So we're coming in at about $75, which is an $80 savings off the regular price of the LightRanger. And overall, I think the specs ended up being very comparable between the two products. So I'm willing to give up a little bit of the aesthetic and the adjustable lighting zones of the LightRanger, save that $80 and have a product that works just as well, gets up just as high, has a USB-C port for charging, which is super convenient. So yeah, overall, I think we really nailed the objectives of coming up with a viable alternative for significantly less money. All right, so in conclusion, I hope I've helped you out today and given you some ideas to play around with. If you end up putting together a version of your own, go ahead, let me know in the comments what you use, what it costs, and how you think the performance compares to the off-the-shelf units you can buy like the LightRanger. And as always, if you liked the video, if we helped you out today, give it the old like and subscribe. We always appreciate that, helping us grow. And we will see you guys again for for the next adventure.